Okay, stand ball. Well, yeah, it's still morning, but got about 10 more minutes. I'm out here in Loxahatchee with the School of Woodlore and Common Sense. I want to talk to you today about shotguns. A lot of people are into automatics and pumps, semi-autos and pumps. And they're fine, I guess. I find them to be expensive. And, well, the more parts and pieces, the more stuff you got on it, the more stuff there is, more chance there are things to go wrong. I kind of prefer the old single shots, side by side and stuff, especially single shots. When you're out in the woods, the lighter weight, they're about the most effective. You can carry bird shot, game loads, and you can throw a couple slugs in there in case you run across larger game. And what I have here, this is an Iver Johnson Arms and Cycle Works, made Massachusetts. This particular one's made in Massachusetts, and they're a good weapon. This one's from about the late 50s. Got a snap cap in here, so I'm not falling on an empty chamber. But you never want a live round in here when you're just storing it. It's a good, effective gun, very good. 12 gauge. For me, 12 gauge is a bit much. When it comes to squirrel and rabbit, it'll tear up a lot more meat if you're not careful. Really good on bird, really good on dove and quail and ducks and snipe and such. It's a good versatile weapon, and like I said, lightweight. These have been carried by a lot of folks, doing a lot of guys doing a lot of trekking through the years. But this one, like I said, this one's made in the 1950s. Still got a lot of color case hardening on it. Good, effective weapon. Got a hammer, and it's a hammer gun. Hence the hammer. The reason why I'm pointing this out to you, I've got an older champion right here. This particular champion was built in 1886, and it's top brake also, as you can see. The trigger guard has the cocking and brake mechanism to it. No hammer, as you can tell. As you can tell, the bottom part is very thin. It's got a lot more drop in the stock. It's got about a 4-inch drop. And the patent number on it is, see here it says Champion, patent October 12th of 86, and that's 1886. Good weapon. You notice that the foreshock also is quite a bit thinner, smaller. When you pick up something like this, and I got this in a gun show for 50 bucks off a table, and it needed a little bit of work. Needed some springs put in it. Well, actually one spring put in the bottom of it, which helped it to cock and everything. The stock, as you can tell, I've done some old school repairs from wrapping some rawhide around it and to fix some cracks in it and stuff. But for the most part, this is a pretty good gun. When you pick up an older firearm like this at a gun show or any place, take it into a good gunsmith. Have them check it out. Make sure that it is a safe weapon and what you may need to repair it. Now I've taken this out in the woods. I've taken this out in the woods and done quite a little bit of hunting with it over this past fall so far. This is a black powder shotgun, and that doesn't mean so much that it's a muzzle loader. It means that the cartridge in the period it was made was during the black powder period. Now let me show you a little bit of these rounds here that I've got made up here. Got laid out to show you a little bit of the difference in this. Okay, so come on over here for a minute. We have, okay, now give you kind of an idea. Right here I've got bismuth. And the bismuth is, I've got this laid out with the more modern Iver Johnson. This is bismuth. This is what they call high brass. Okay, got low brass and high brass. This is now this bismuth. This is designed for hunting waterfowl. It's non-toxic shot. It's kind of expensive. It does carry a bit more powder in it, a bit more oomph. If you're getting that round out there. Now here, this is your typical. This is target load, same as game load. This is 7.5 shot, 12 gauge, as you can tell, 2 3/4, and there's your typical low brass. Even though that isn't brass, but we call that low brass round. Now that would go. Both of those would go in this Iver Johnson just fine. In the older one, the older Champion, the black powder gun, I wouldn't use the high brass. I'd go with the low brass. But more safer are these things here. This is a self-made load. Okay, it's 12 gauge, 2.5 inch brass round. Now I've loaded that myself. I'll do another video on how to load those a little bit later. That's what I shoot in this. I've got a lower load. I've got about 60 grains in now. It works pretty good for squirrel, and I could build that up a bit more. As you can tell in the guns, not only in the drops and the stocks, but you can also tell that the barrels are a tad bit longer on the older gun, about an inch and a half. There's good weapons. Well, so that's what I got for you today for the shotguns. They're, like I said, these are really good handed. They're really nice. They're a ball to shoot. They're inexpensive. And now, to be honest with you, I think you'd be better off with a 20 gauge. And the reason I don't have a 20 gauge in this is because, well, I happen to have found one in a 12 gauge. That's all. But 20 gauge does a lot less meat damage. On bird, it'll make a little bit more of a challenging shot. Not massive, a little bit more. It's a good round all around. Anyways, I hope that you've enjoyed the short video on some of the shotguns that I play around with. You notice it's not my flintlock like in previous videos. But on a rainy day, you know, something like this would work a lot better. I hope you've enjoyed it, and I'll get you on the next video. Y'all take care. Bye-bye.